Hey guys, welcome back to Jury Rig Garage.
We're going to be destroying all our work today.
All of it.
So, as we explained in the last video, we're trying to modify this guy right here, this big old 60mm wastegate off, our turbo setup. So we have the manifold here. Our goal is to, from this whole side, which is 2 inches, these pipes are 2 1/4 inch pipes collecting. This is a 2-inch hole saw. From there, we'll have a 2-inch pipe that comes out to this 2-inch elbow, to this 2.5-inch reducer, which does the opposite of reducing, to this 2.5-inch pipe. Off will be the big old wastegate, somewhere like right there or something.
Yeah, like underneath that thing.
It's
Oh, I see this shape.
It's kind of hard to visualize for you guys, but I mean, you got all the basic components there, how it's going to be with the 90-degree reducer and 2.5-inch. So one of the problems we're running into that we're just gonna have to finesse is this doesn't leave us with very much room with the 2-inch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hole saw through the bottom, and then once we hit the area where we're going to be hitting the weld, we're gonna back off and we're going to assess if we can continue with doing this method. And then if we can't, we will get the air grinder and we will just have to make do with that. We have carbide bits, so it shouldn't be a problem. And that's gonna be our best solution. This is an Amazon, not tube notching tool, so it is what it is. It is kind of like the best. It's basically like a replica of the Eastwood one, but yeah. Chinese.
So it's the best cheap one that he could find.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like all the tools we buy here, except the Milwaukee. But essentially, we measured this with the calipers, and the thickness that this is on the outside is basically just 0.1 inches larger than the hole saw. So that's why we're not going to run the hole saw all the way through. We're going to run it as much as we see fit, and then just open it up on the air grinder when we need, or if we need.
We probably won't record all of this. It's going to be loud. It's going to be dirty. We might even put up some something to kind of clean it up. Some type of paper or something to catch all the metal bits.
Oh yeah, because we always have issues with metal on.
Yeah, see, it'll just go on just like that. It's already starting to work. So
that, honestly, for stainless, that actually just did more of a mark than I thought.
I don't know what kind of stainless they use for this kit. I know it's not the same quality as the 304 stainless that we get from Vibrant.
This stuff is hard to get through.
This one you can actually use the carbide bit. That's honestly kind of why. Well, you were able to use the deburring tool to kind of clean that up.
Right. So. By the way, guys, I got some stainless right here.
304. Is that picking up on camera at all?
It's hard. It's hard.
It's so shiny. Sus.
Yeah, take our word for it. That stuff is sus, straight from China. But yeah, I cannot wait to get this. We're really scared about ruining the collector, so hopefully that does not happen. That's why we're not going to go all the way with this thing. We're just gonna get the hole good enough and then widen it up with the air grinder. That way, there's more room, less room for error. So we're gonna come back once we're actually ready to chew on this thing. It'll be fun to see us ruin the collector.
Yeah, that didn't last long. Just keep an eye on it so it doesn't. If you notice it moving at all.
Got it. I'll let you know.
Here, let me put it on a slower speed. Are we making any more progress?
It doesn't look like it, because we're not even through on that one.
Yeah, let's open up the garage and we're gonna go ahead and work. We're gonna go ahead and work on this. It'll be a while, I think.
All right, we're back. We have some progress. Haha.
No, we don't. What the fuck is your garage? We never have progress. We don't have progress here. What the heck?
So guys.
Yeah, you can see, let me see if I can get a good camera angle on it. You kind of see those blade teeth. They're kind of,
square.
Not pointy like they're supposed to be. So we might need to go back to the parts store, get like a Diablo blade or a Milwaukee blade or something. Something that's rated for it. I mean, we made okay progress. The problem is now that we're working, up through it. That's kind of our main problem, so.
Yeah, and not having sharp teeth.
The correct blade.
Yeah.
So what we can at least do in the meantime, we might go to the parts store now, or we might just try to knock this out, but at least tack together this so we have it. It's, one piece. And then we can even tack on the V-band for that.
Well, we'll come back to you guys, but not much to see here.
It's all trash.
Fuck.
All right, guys. Tristan has made the, artistic choice to keep the sus part, visible when we go to do this together. So, yeah, it's gonna just say sus.
It's almost like bragging rights that I get to have sus steel on my car, straight from China.
Oh yeah.
Sad that you can't really see it well in video, or so I don't think. Didn't look like it.
It sounds really loud.
It does sound really loud, unusually, but
it's a new regulator, is what it was. I mean, it was just.
Looks like a good tack, though.
Yeah.
Oh, and this did say that it was a manual bend, by the way, and it's not.
As fuck. Yeah.
So sus through and through, guys. Don't buy sus metal from China.
Yup.
Oh, yep, somebody's home.
It sounds so much different. I don't know what it sounds like. It's not the correct amount of gas, because normally I'd have it set for 20 CFH or whatever it is, and that sounds like way more gas.
So this is your first time using the new regulator?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it seems fine. Like literally, it's fine. It just sounds violent.
And it does tell you how much is going through it. Yeah. So it's like I don't think you can really get the wrong amount. Yeah, for sure. But it does sound a lot louder.
Well, let's add a couple more and.
All right.
Add the next pipe and the next pipe.
And the next pipe. We laying pipe over here, boys.
I feel like it's actually working better.
What the fuck?
Like the normal. Maybe that regulator was... Maybe I wasn't using enough gas. I don't know if this is like an accurate amount of gas and that one wasn't giving me enough gas or something. I don't know, because that feels way better. Huh. Like that just initiated way better. And
guys, did we just buy an $800 new welder because the regulator was bad?
No.
No, I'm just kidding. Because that new welder is going to be better anyways.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know if I already just explained it, but we got the dual regulator because we want to be able to back purge. So this off here, we can have some gas come through. That we'll have a tube going to this. So basically it'll fill the entire thing with argon, so it shields the inside. So it'll make the strong overall, the weld overall stronger and look nicer and just be much better. Yeah, that Byron does such a great job with this. Like it feels so perfect. Like.
Yeah, just look at the inside with the light reflecting off against it. It looks so nice in there.
Yep.
And they're expensive too, so it's like it costs.
Yep. So now we'll just tack this guy on. I'll just hold it up and tack it on.
That's scary.
No, I'll hold it.
Oh, okay.
It'll be all like that. And then I'll just bring the gun up there and just do it.
Gotcha, okay.
That's exactly what you were afraid of happening.
Yep. He's becoming an expert, guys.
Yeah, you just said that. You jinxed me.
God damn it.
Okay, I need to clean the tungsten. I'll just grind that down and fill it.
But the first one looks so good.
I know. I need to grind the tungsten down a little bit. It's probably
nice.
Gonna be hot to the touch.
The other one too. Nice. He did a good job.
And then once we're ready to, we'll just cut the excess to whatever, length that we need, and then we can put the band on there.
I was telling Davis that the way that this looks, this almost looks like a side exit exhaust coming off someone's car, you know?
Yeah, it does.
Like right under their door. Haha, guys, just kidding.
So we can't actually weld this on yet because we don't know how long it's going to need to be. So all you guys get to see is
the side pipe.
This get created. So yeah.
Dude, we should make something similar for like the Camaro. The side pipe coming out behind the rear tire.
Yeah. And then a muffler.
A muffler, please. Please let me fit a muffler.
Pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. We're pretty much at a standstill for today.
I want to add some tacks to it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna keep welding to that.
Clean it up and tack it together. Yeah, I don't know what else we can really even fit into this video because we need the new thing. Tristan needs to get out of here. I need to get out of here. I think we might just pick back up tomorrow. So
yeah, we might just do that.
If if it cuts over, then I guess it'll just be seamless for you guys.
We still have a lot more to do. Obviously, we got to measure out how far we want this.
Basically, this is going to be coming off around right there, so probably right here would be safe to assume that's where we go.
Yeah, right around here to put the wastegate. And it's a Chungus wastegate, so it's going to need its own space. And then, oh, man, that thing's so heavy.
Yep.
Like, it's a weighty bitch. Hopefully, our welds are good enough to... Oh, we were talking about possibly supporting the two pipes by, like, welding a piece in between them.
I did get Virtus and bought a bunch of different, like, plates of this stuff. So this is 3 or 4 stainless. So what we'll do is... It'll actually be off, you know, this pipe here.
Yep, this is... Okay,
and what we'll do is we'll cut off a piece. There's my alarm.
He's got to pick up the waifu.
So it'll just connect basically those two just so it has some rigidity. And we'll have a cool way of, you know, making it so it fits really nicely. Basically, you'll see it off like that, you know.
Okay.
Because we'll hole saw it and it'll have a little, you know, it'll have that perfect relief where it'll sit on this.
I know exactly what you're talking about now. I just need to visualize it.
Yeah, so we'll have it on both sides.
That'll look good.
All right, guys, it's the next day. I did go back and fill in those holes. You can see it's just completely gone now. What I did is I just got a bunch of filler rod, basically bunched up like several bits that I cut up over it, and then use that to fill it in. That seemed to work. That's probably what I'll do on the other holes that we have on here, like this guy right here, as well as these two. Since, you know, we're just tacking it and not back purging yet, there's some sugary on the inside, so we will go ahead and grind that off with a air grinder, just like a carbide bit, and just go ahead and take that out. I do have a dual regulator, so we can start back purging once we have, you know, the new welder and we're ready to start putting everything together. But here is the product that's going to be for now until we can get this. Once we have this hole saw cut, as well as the 2-inch pipe that we need to kind of extend between here and there, because we have to, you know, add some length to it like that. That will pretty much be the progress for that at the moment. Sorry, there's not much more. We're still waiting on our welder, and I did order it last week, but it took forever to get it. So the 2-inch pipe that we need, and we can't even use it because we need to get this hole cut through here first. So, all right, guys, we're back. An undisclosed amount of time later, we ordered a carbide bit blade, and this thing's working so much better. It's already gone through. I just tested it just to make sure it works. I'm gonna go ahead and drill the rest of this through. I'm having to kind of just slow down sometimes and just look at the angle because it's a pretty tight fit like we were explaining. We don't want to accidentally bring it all the way up. So I think once I at least get up to this point right here, I'm going to stop and assess everything, make sure that we're still looking good, and if we need to, just Dremel the rest out versus hole sawing it all the way through, we'll do that. The 2-inch pipe that's going to be going off this 2-inch 90, so the straight that's going to be just extending it a little bit, still hasn't shown up. It was supposed to come on last Friday before we even recorded the beginning of this video, and then Saturday it was supposed to come, didn't come. Sunday it was supposed to come, didn't come. Monday, it is still not here, so it's been delayed like 3 times, even though it's in our area. I don't know why. We're still waiting on that, so unfortunately I won't be able to tack it up, but I'll clean this up and get it put on the front here if we're able to get this all the way drilled through. But I'm gonna go ahead and sit down the camera and we'll just drill through the rest of this. Alright guys, as you can see, we destroyed our manifold. So, you know, we got that 2-inch cut there now. It came out much better than I expected. Let me see if I can do this with 2 hands, but I don't have that 2-inch piece of exhaust pipe for the wastegate, but I can fit it up with this real fast. As you can see here, this it fits pretty well. I mean, let me see if I can get a good angle for you guys. I mean, it slides in just perfectly, you know? And, I mean, there's some gaps or whatever. Not terrible, actually, but we'll have to kind of finesse with that, trying to get this, you know, perfect. But once we have the straight piece, we can really, you know, measure it out, see how much we need. So it'll look something like that there, probably a little bit farther out. But yeah, now that we have that all cut up, we can, I guess, not continue because we don't got anything else. But once we get the 2-inch pipe, we can, you know, continue with the fabrication of this. I did deburr this and clean it up. I'm gonna clean it down now with a rag and some acetone because I use brake clean to, you know, get everything out of here, the all the metal shavings. So I'm gonna take some acetone and just wipe it down here. But yeah, this thing is coming together. You know, we're really tearing apart this manifold kit. There's now at this point nothing that we haven't touched on it. Like the whole collector's been modified, the new flange on there, the new angle for this, the just is all completely new from here. And then yeah, just the actual exhaust manifolds over there. So I'm gonna fit this up and we're gonna see how it looks. All right guys, so obviously, like I said, I don't have that 2-inch pipe yet, but it will sit somewhere down like this, and then we'll have our big blue wastegate right off that. So probably around there somewhere. We don't want to have it out too far because of the, you know, potential for exhaust flow restrictions. I mean, this one already not ideal at all for the exhaust flow of a wastegate, since it has to, you know, it's coming up into immersion and have to turn around. But with our constraints and not wanting to go with dual 38 mils, this will be our best option here. It'll be something just like that. Hopefully you guys can visualize it. That's usually the best way for me to do that. And then once we have the turbo back on, I mean, the downpipe comes down and comes out right here, so it should be pretty simple to recirculate the exhaust into it because we don't want a screamer pipe on ours. So all right guys, we're back. We finally have that 2-inch piece of exhaust that we need to finish the wastegate. Well, I guess not finished, we still have to do the recirculation piping, but this is what will go in here. You can see it actually fits up really well. There are, you know, clearly gaps where the hole saw just took out a little bit more material. I'm gonna put it on the car and just fit up some things. But what we're going to do for sure is, I already marked it with some Sharpie. We're going to take the angle grinder and kind of make this design here. That way it'll fit up really nicely with this right here. I'm gonna break out the angle grinder and start cutting this up, and then we can kind of gauge how much this needs to be off to fit the wastegate. You know, it's gonna have to be pretty close to this exhaust pipe. We do not want it touching at all. We want some decent room, some clearance there. So we'll measure that out, and then we can tack pretty much everything together and have that all situated. We can put the wastegate on finally, and then pipe up the recirculation into the downpipe, which right here we'll be able to use some of this 2 1/4 inch pipe that we have extra and basically make it complete finally. All right guys, we very crudely cut it with a saw, and I mean, it looks pretty good. I'll clean it up the edges, obviously. I tried leaving more material on than we needed, and worst case scenario, if this doesn't work, we'll just cut it here and then kind of start over. We have more than enough length for it, but we'll go ahead and try fitting it up here. This is very crude. You can see how it'll fit there. I'll get it set up over there and clean this up, and we'll be right back. All right guys, I had to do a total redo on that one. It came out way too thin on these ports right here, these ports. So I just cut it off and started again. I have a really nice technique if you guys want to replicate this. I just got some spray paint and I sprayed around, so like the full tube, you know, imagine if this were all the way in normal tube. I spray painted all around. That gave me a much more defined area that I needed to cut around. And then on that, I Sharpied around it just so I had, you know, way more extra metal than I needed. And now this thing actually fits like super nicely. So fits perfectly. I'll be able to weld that in easily. This one, there are some gaps, but that is going to be totally doable as well. I'm now going to go ahead and put this on the car, or I guess the motor set up. I'm gonna measure how long we need this. I'll cut it to length, then we can tack together this on here, and then as well that in there. And then we can maybe get the flange on over there for the wastegate. But super psyched that this came out so well. You know, it doesn't look pretty, but it'll work perfectly fine for what we're doing here. I mean, it fits perfectly. Another thing that I did realize is we potentially could have gotten a 2.5 inch or maybe just an inch and or 2.25 inch. And this, you know, these straps right here could fit over everything. Like, I guess it would look like that basically. That could have been another option just for a little bit bigger of a tube, but you know, this will be fine how it is. Fits really nicely. So I'm gonna get to mocking up, measuring it, cutting it, and then we'll tack it all together. Alright guys, I did some eyeballing here. I got this all kind of taped up, you know, whatever, it's kind of jury rig, but it is where it needs to be, and everything clears, you know, pretty tight right there actually. We have our wastegate, and I've found that I want to cut it right there, so it's right there. Basically, it will clear under the bellow. It won't really obstruct like directly in front of the balancer here, so if we disconnect it, you know, we can get the balancer off, which I mean, I guess we'd probably take off the whole front of the turbo kit with it. But now that we have that, I'm gonna cut it, and then we'll be able to actually tack in this, tack this together, and then tack the flange to it. I want to make that bracket that will support the pipe from here to here. I'll do that just, you know, whenever, some free time. It's not something super crazy or fun to watch, I would imagine, but man, this thing is looking pretty crazy for the wastegate here. I can't wait to see it on here. Alright guys, took a while. Unfortunately made a lot of mistakes. I can blame the welder, but I mean a lot of it was preventable. We are getting our new welder, but I think a lot of my issues would go away if I didn't have to use this one, which is really shitty scratch start, because in a couple places I blew a little bit of holes. Only about like 1 or 2 there, and then this one was just really fucked. But, you know, live filler, and it's all part of me learning, and it's all repairable, so it's not like anything's ruined. I mean, there's plenty of holes everywhere here. You know, I put 4 tacks at least in every joint, so this should be really strong. It looks really cool now that I'm looking at it, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it on here, and we're gonna see what that blue wastegate looks like with it on. All right, guys, I got everything set up on it, and I'm so excited just looking at it. Steal yourself, it looks awesome. So here we go. We got the big old 60mm wastegate, so we got the 2 inch to the 92 inch to the reducer to 2.5 inch to the 60mm wastegate. And then we have some of this extra vibrant 2.25, which will butt connect with that. And you can see here, this is our downpipe. It will meet the downpipe. We can cut a hole for it, or we can even just do a 90 right off this guy right there. 90 straight into it. Like, literally couldn't have come out more simpler than this, really, unless this had like not so much of a kick out angle. If it was more of like just a 90-degree angle, then we can do 90 straight, 90 right into it. Everything clears, everything fits. There is definitely a lot of weight on the front of it now, and like I said, I wanted to cut up some of this stuff to make a bracket from here to here, because if you shake it, it's definitely I mean, it's not fully welded, it's just tacked in, but there's a lot of vibrations. There could easily be cracks up here, so we want to mitigate that. We'll put a little strap right here to kind of support it so it doesn't stress that out. And then even here we might add another bellow in the center, because as the exhaust gets hotter, it'll expand and you don't want anything cracking. That's why we have this guy here. So another one right going into the downpipe, since the downpipe and this pipe that's going to be recirculating into it are going to be expanding at different rates because this is bigger. A bellow would be a good idea. We could put one somewhere right there. But man, that looks perfect. We could use this one, this you know, vacuum line here if we had a 90. There's also one at the bottom we can use. This doesn't obstruct with any of the power steering stuff. Like, I mean, this realistically can be relocated anywhere too, so. Oh man, it took several days to get all of these parts and lots of struggle, I guess, with some of this, and something I've never personally done. I mean, I've never done any of this level of fabrication before, but this thing is really, really looking great. I am so happy with how this turned out. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Be sure to leave a like on the video. Definitely worked a lot in this one, and you know, helps YouTube promote the video so others can see all this awesome fabrication work. And yeah, be sure to subscribe to the channel, check out other videos, and we'll see you next time.